Hi, I'm Anqoinette Crosby, and welcome to County Report This Week. Coming up in the next half hour, it's a great place to enjoy and escape. We take you to the big celebration for Brookside Gardens. Plus, we'll hear how pesticides are being used in county parks. And later, take a trip to the country right here in the county. We'll have more about the annual farm tour. But first, County Exec Marc Elrich and Council President Nancy Navarro released a joint statement on immigration support. They want residents to know their civil rights if they are stopped by ICE and to seek help from organizations that provide legal assistance and advice. This week on the county's Spanish language radio show, we learned more about a local resource center helping immigrants that need it.
We want everyone in Montgomery County to know about our county's policies. We want people to know about their rights, and we want people to know where to turn for legal and immigration advice. And they can do that by accessing the Gilchrist Immigrant Resource Center in person, through their website, or also via phone. And we have employees that speak many languages, so we can serve residents in any language.
For more info, visit the website on your screen or call 240-777-4940. Brookside Gardens recently celebrated a huge milestone. MyMC Media's Jordan Lindsay has more on how they have become a gem in our community since 1969.
Brookside Gardens is celebrating a very big milestone.
In its 50 years, Brookside Garden has made a significant mark on our community in this area, leading the way in horticulture, environmental stewardship and education, and of course in creating special moments in people's lives.
The County Executive of Montgomery County awards the certificate to Brookside Gardens in recognition and appreciation of 50 years of award-winning 50-acre public display garden. Since 1969, Brookside Gardens intricately designed landscapes, permanent and seasonal displays, conservatories, and engaging programs and events, including the Wings of Fancy live butterfly exhibit and the Winter Garden of Lights display, enticing over 400,000 visitors each year. Brookside Gardens is an integral part of the community, has been part of many milestones in the lives of our residents. Congratulations to the friends, donors, volunteers, and staff who work to preserve this beautiful landscape for generations to come.
Several people joined the celebration, including local resident Helene Myers, who was once a longtime volunteer.
Oh, I love it. What's not to love? The only thing, and I have to admit this, I never know where I am or where I'm going. I just wander, and I get to see all of it.
Since 1969, Brookside Gardens has grown into a place for Montgomery County residents to enjoy, a place to escape the daily hustle and bustle of life.
Well, Brookside Gardens' value to our community only increases over time. In today's increasingly busy and distracting world, it's so important to have places where you can get grounded, reflect, and re-energize.
Brookside is a great place. I mean, I grew up in this part of the county, live here now. Whether it's bringing my kids here for the Garden of Lights or the butterfly exhibit or just walking around here myself to clear my mind. It's just such a great place, and it brings community together.
This is a place where memories have been made and special moments have occurred, meetups and marriages even, and it really is just an extraordinary place for everybody.
Mindfulness. That's what officials encourage participants to practice while venturing around this 50-acre gem.
It's become known for its many spectacular displays, as well as the annual Garden of Lights holiday display, the annual Wings of Fancy live caterpillar and butterfly show.
Reporting in Wheaton, Jordan Lindsay for County Report This Week.
Save the date for a community forum. It will focus on getting rid of hate and violence. It's taking place on August 7th at the Silver Spring Civic Center. There will be a film screening and panel discussion. For more information, visit montgomerycountymd.gov/human rights or call 240-777-8450. Council President Nancy Navarro and Council Member Will Jawando took part in a community conversation, and they shared their personal experiences about race. Crystal Park tells us about their plan to introduce legislation that addresses that very issue.
Council President Nancy Navarro and Councilmember Will Jawando were panelists at a community conversation on education, race, and politics at the Clinton African Methodist Episcopal Church in Rockville. The event was co-sponsored by the church and the Lincoln Park Historical Foundation. Community members were invited to listen to panelists speak about how their race has impacted their lives in Montgomery County. 8th grader Tamaya Pulliam received a standing ovation from the audience for powerfully telling her story of what it's like to be a young African-American female in this county. From unwanted touching of her hair to a teacher who refused to pronounce her name correctly, Pulliam says she hopes telling her experiences will save future generations from having to deal with similar obstacles.
I feel like I have to work harder than others that aren't of my race, so I feel that people shouldn't always have to do that and that won't have to happen.
Council President Nancy Navarro plans on introducing legislation aimed at eliminating racial disparities in the county. She says in order to pass meaningful legislation, it's vital that we proactively listen to all residents on racial equity.
How to rise above that, the energy that it takes to do that, and this issue of, am I ready, or is it that the institutions are not ready? That is the piece that we're going to work on with this racial equity and social justice legislation.
Oftentimes, the topic of racial equity seems out of place in as diverse of a place as Montgomery County. But Councilmember Will Jawando says that's a common misconception.
I think sometimes people think that you can't both say that we're a great place and some people aren't benefiting from it. And I think that's not true. You can say that, and it actually makes us a great place when you're allowed to honestly say, hey, we are a great place and we want more people to benefit from it, and that's our work and that's our goal.
In Rockville, I'm Crystal Park.
Coming up on County Report this week, the Office of Consumer Protection went out into the community and shared advice about how to avoid scams. And what the county is doing to get rid of pests in our parks. Those stories and more when we come back.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC 311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In Montgomery County, we have a goal to reduce waste and recycle 70% of all waste by 2020. By recycling and reducing waste, we save natural resources and make our community even better. So recycle at home, work, school, everywhere, and keep recycling going. For more information, call the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling.
Keep it going.
Recycle more now.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. The county's Office of Procurement will be holding an open house every third Wednesday through December. It'll take place from 10 to 11 a.m. at 255 Rockville Pike in Rockville. The first open house was held on July 17th.
When I came to office, when I took seat as the Director of Office of Procurement, the feedback I got was that my staff was very helpful, very knowledgeable, very competent, but that our processes were less helpful to the vendor community. And I believe that when I saw what our regulations look like. They look like an exotic bird when you look at the different tabs that people have to stick in them to keep track of what's happening. So I can only imagine that these processes would make our vendors' lives very difficult. While I sort this out, which is what I plan to do over the next 6 months, I wanted to be able to, at least as a stopgap, help our vendors, our supplier community, have access to my team who can help them navigate through what feels like an asteroid field. So the idea behind doing this was to support the vendor community that wants to do business with the county but is intimidated to because our processes are so complicated. Put them in front of my team who is able to help them navigate these processes in the interim. But honestly, my hope is that in a year's time that these events are actually no longer necessary, because our process is so intuitive that you don't need an open house to be able to figure out how to do business with Montgomery County. That said, our doors will always be open, but I don't think this level of hand-holding should be necessary in the future.
For more info, go to montgomerycountymd.gov/pro. As part of its outreach program, the Office of Consumer Protection took part in a community event. Investigator Joy Matthews tells us more in this Consumer Alert.
Hi, I'm Joy Matthews with the Montgomery County Office of Consumer Protection. OCP regularly goes out into the community to help consumers with problems and issues. We are here at Leisure World in Silver Spring for its annual Health and Wellness Expo. This event is sponsored by Bender JCC and co-sponsored by the JRLW Jewish Residents of Leisure World. Let's find out what consumer concerns are on people's minds.
I had one friend who was scammed out of $10,000 because he got a phone call telling him his grandson needed the money up in Canada. And he told us about it because he sent them the money. And when he told a group of us, we said, "Does your grandson have a cell phone?" "Well, yeah." "Did you ever think to call the cell phone and find out he was at home all this time?" And these are the things that go on because many people's minds are not as clear as they used to be, I'll be polite, and they become easy victims.
I have a computer contract with Dell, but I get calls from people who say they're from Dell and my computer's going to crash. And I say, "Don't call me." And then I call Dell and they say, "It wasn't us." I get letters from Apple because I have an iPad and my iPad's going to crash. And I send the email to my son-in-law and he says, "It's a phony." It's very frightening to older people.
And people are actually looking for a senior they can take advantage of. So don't take for granted that you're safe because you're old. It's just the opposite.
When filing a complaint with our office, make sure you provide us with copies of all of the documentation regarding your issue.
As you can see, our office can offer consumers advice at events like this. But if you can't make it to an event, you can call or come into our Rockville location to meet with an investigator. For more information, go to montgomerycountymd.gov/consumer.
There's a special program in place regarding the use of pesticides in our county parks. MyMC Media's Jordan Lindsay has more.
Let's talk about pesticide use in parks throughout Montgomery County.
We do use pesticides in the parks, but we use them as a last resort.
Chief of the Horticulture, Forestry, and Environmental Education Division for Montgomery Parks, David Vismera, says there's a number of reasons why.
The first reason is protect the safety and health of our patrons. Other reasons is because we have such a large investment in our parks, we use that to protect our infrastructure, which is our buildings, our sidewalks, our parking lots, and our plants. We have a huge investment in all these.
However, Vismera says there are a lot of pesticide-free areas in parks.
In using pesticides, people think we spray pesticides on everything, and again, that's not the case. We have currently our playgrounds are pesticide-free. That's 273 playgrounds. No pesticides are used on those. All of our common grassy areas, which we're kind of standing around right here in Norwood Park, none of those are sprayed with pesticides. That's about 1,600 acres in the parks.
The county has a special program set in place.
We currently have a program, a pesticide-free parks program. We have 10 pesticide-free parks, which we're standing in one right now in Norwood Park. We are looking at expanding that list in the near future, and you can find these parks listed on our website.
And Montgomery County has actually been a leader when it comes to pesticide reduction in this country.
We started this program called Integrated Pest Management over 25 years ago, and this program emphasizes pesticides as a last resort.
Vismera added that there are other alternatives to get rid of weeds and pests.
The other means that we use and a lot of other people employ, there's mechanical means, there's cultural means, and there's biological means of taking care of pests. With the mechanical means, we're talking about hand weeding, which we have a tremendous volunteer program that does a lot of weeding in the parks. There's hoeing, using the weed eater string trimming. We also just recently purchased what's called a foam stream machine to take care of weeds. And this machine uses a plant-based solution with heat that makes a foam that when you spray it on weeds, it supposedly kills the weeds. So we've just purchased those two machines. We're going to be trying those out in the parks.
Reporting in Bethesda, Jordan Lindsay for County Report This Week.
With the extreme heat expected to stick around for the next few days, here are some things the county wants you to know. First, pay closer attention to those at risk, and that includes the elderly and young children. Homeless shelters will allow residents to return after work or daytime activities. Pet owners may be fined $500 for leaving animals outside in dangerous heat, and some activities are being canceled at county parks. If you need to cool off, here are some good places to chill out: libraries, rec centers, and pools. For more info, call 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/heat. Anyone concerned about the well-being of a homeless person can call 240-907-2688. Coming up on County Report This Week, we'll tell you which bureau is looking to encourage more than 5,000 people to apply in the county, and how you can help students in need go back to school with the supplies they need. Stay with us. County Report This Week. We'll be right back.
Introducing Ride on Flex, Montgomery County Department of Transportation's new on-demand transit service to help you get around in defined Rockville and Glenmont-Wheaton zones. Download the Ride on Flex app to book your ride. No fixed stops or fixed schedules. The Flex comes when you book. New 11-passenger buses are wheelchair accessible and have free Wi-Fi. And you ride for $2 or less. Visit rideonflex.com for service areas and hours of operation.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. Are you looking for a job? Well, the Census Bureau is hiring. The 2020 census will take place early next year, but the Bureau is already looking for workers. About 600 people will be hired in Montgomery County. If you're interested, apply online at 2020census.gov/jobs. For other ways to apply, the info is on your screen. We have an important health reminder for parents of students entering the 7th grade. These students must show proof that they've been vaccinated against Tdap and MCV4. For the rest of this month and August, the county's health department will offer free shots. These are for incoming 7th graders. The shots will take place at 3 county clinics and at the School Health Services Center. There's no appointment needed, but a parent or designated adult must be present, and a copy of the child's vaccine record must be presented. For more info, call 240-777-1050. MCPS is raising funds to purchase backpacks. They'll be filled with school supplies for students in need. Your $10 donation will ensure students have enough supplies for the school year. Thanks to generous donations last year, the district was able to provide nearly 19,000 backpacks to students. Now they're hoping to serve even more this year. For more info or to donate, go to montgomeryschoolsmd.org. There was some fun audience participation during an event held at Montgomery College. They learned about exploring the North Pole, deep diving into the ocean, and taking to the seas with a pirate. Here's a recap of the Chautauqua event.
For the last 20 years, the Montgomery College Germantown campus has been the host for the Maryland Humanities Council Chautauqua. For those who might be wondering, what is Chautauqua?
Chautauqua started in the 1800s as a way to bring culture to small town America. And in Maryland, Chautauqua is sponsored by the Maryland Humanities Council. And what that means is they pick a theme each year, and they usually have 3 or 4 performers who fit the theme. They're wonderful historical performances.
Making Waves is a theme for this year's performance, featuring Matthew Henson, the first African American to reach the North Pole.
This is our last chance to make it to the North Pole.
Oceanographer and filmmaker Jacques Cousteau.
In my early life, the idea of being what I was called once manfish.
And for pirate enthusiasts, Pirate Queen Grace O'Malley.
I have been performing now 40 years. I love teaching history. I love being in character. I love entertaining, having fun with the audience, being interactive. And Chautauqua, I think, is a cut above even some of the places I perform, and I love them all. But because Chautauqua audiences are really smart and savvy, and so I have to really study up on my characters before I do a Chautauqua show.
To be the queen, for the queen. It was a lot of fun, I didn't expect it. I've never been picked for anything. I never won any contest except some cake once, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing the role, and she was so much fun to work with that I kind of got into it myself.
If you ever see anyone with a ruff, you know 2 things. 1, they are rich. That's imported lace, and indeed only nobility are allowed to wear them.
Family and friends alike enjoyed Chautauqua this year. For County Report this week, I'm Stanley Carlton Jones.
A panel of experts weigh in on the future of the Rockville Town Center. Rock 11's Craig Buchanan breaks down the public presentation.
Rockville's town center just went under the microscope. A panel of Urban Land Institute experts explored Rockville for 2 days to recommend actions for improving the vitality of the city's town center. The group of experts, known as a Technical Assistance Panel, or TAP, gave their suggestions during a public presentation.
So what we want to do here is kind of walk you through some of our observations and some of the issues that were raised, and then really talk about how we can strengthen your business and retail strategies.
One suggestion is to increase street parking and bike lanes to consistently bring people to town center and encourage them to shop. They also proposed ways to enrich the many entrances to town center for elevating the public's first impression of the city.
Rockville has some of the most beautiful parks in the region. That should be what I see when I enter Rockville Town Center. That's what y'all are about. It shouldn't be about cross streets and large roads and traffic signals.
The next step after this presentation will be to have a discussion with Rockville's Mayor and Council about the results of the panel's report.
The panel will produce a report that will come out sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks. We'll make sure that the Mayor and Council and the public has access to that report. And from that, there will be a discussion with the Mayor and Council and the public on which of these ideas are things we should run with and what else could be supplemented.
More information about the presentation and a link to the report will become available on rockvillereports.com. For County Report This Week, I'm Craig Buchanan.
Coming up on County Report this week, experience the sights and sounds of real working farms. We'll have more about the county's fun event. And spread your wings and swoop into this amazing butterfly exhibit. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Interested in career success? Get to Montgomery College and we'll get you going. You can earn an associate's degree in only 2 years. With 3 campuses, award-winning faculty, and multiple online learning opportunities, Montgomery College will empower you to set your course and succeed. Want to pursue a bachelor's degree? If you start at MC, you can save 1/3 on total tuition costs of a 4-year program. Apply today.
What will Montgomery County look like in the year 2050? This is our chance to figure out what the future of the county can be and how it will grow so that every resident can have the opportunity to thrive. Montgomery County can be a place where we invest equitably in our communities to make them vibrant and safe for all ages and incomes to work, live, and play. Together, we can set a vision for the infrastructure that connects our residents and creates a roadmap for a more sustainable, responsible, and prosperous county. Let's plan our future together.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. Here's your chance to experience some real working farms. It's the county's annual Farm Tour and Harvest Sale. It takes place July 27th and 28th. Spend a day petting animals or having lunch by a scenic pond. You can also pick berries and buy flowers and fresh produce. This is a celebration of the county's agricultural heritage. Most of the farms will be open from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. For more info, go to the county's website listed on your screen. If you're all aflutter about what to do this week, we have just the thing for you. Swoop into the Wings of Fancy butterfly exhibit at Brookside Gardens. Staffers are also sharing tips about growing your own container butterfly garden. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Kathy Stevens, and I'm here at Wings of Fancy, the live butterfly and caterpillar exhibit at Brookside Gardens. And we just finished planting a butterfly container workshop in an effort to teach people about how to support the entire life cycle of the butterfly. It's very important to have a place for butterflies to lay their eggs. We call these kinds of plants caterpillar food plants. Parsley is the caterpillar food plant for black swallowtails, and monarchs will lay their eggs on this tropical milkweed. By giving butterflies a place to lay their eggs and plants to feed their caterpillars, we'll have lots of caterpillars, which are a very important food source for local songbirds and other insects and wildlife. After the caterpillars accumulate a lot of stored energy and turn into butterflies, they're going to enjoy nectar from the flowers that are also in this container, like this heliotrope, zinnias, lantana, and salvia. So if you come to visit the exhibit, you'll learn about caterpillars and plants and the important role that they play in our environment.
The display runs through September 22nd. It's a must-see for all ages. For more information, visit brooksidegardens.org. More family fun is heading your way. Get ready for the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair. It returns to the fairgrounds in Gaithersburg. The gates are open from August 9th through the 17th. You can experience all kinds of entertainment, livestock, rides, food, and exhibits. There's something for everyone. To find out more, visit the fair's website at mcagfair.com. Now it's time to meet our pets of the week. Brooke Shardy joins us from the Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center with more.
Hey everybody, I'm Brooke with Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center, and this week we have two pets of the week for you. In my arms is Camden, and right next to me is Oriole, and they are a beautiful bonded pair looking for a home together. Camden is a 12-year-old neutered male, and Oriole is a 12-year-old spayed female. Camden and Oriole came to us as part of a hoarding case, but after some great care from our staff here at the shelter, they're in great shape and ready to go to their forever homes together. Camden and Oriole have both been here since January, and we think it's about time that they get their lucky break and find a family to adopt them, especially since the entire month of July, Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center is participating in the Maryland 2000, meaning that every single cat's adoption fee is completely waived. For more information on Camden or Oriole, or any of our adoptable pets, you can visit our website at www.montgomerycountymd.gov/animal services. And also make sure to follow us on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at MCASAC.
With that, we close this edition of County Report This Week. Remember to like us on Facebook and to join us again at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. Thank you for watching.